Welcome back this weekend. Now, the festive season, well, I guess it's fair to say it's a thing of the past, and Easter is fast approaching. And some people are sticking to their New Year's diet resolutions, but many would have fallen off the bandwagon. So, what do we need to talk about now in terms of adjusting our eating habits? Ria Mokoko is with us, a dietitian at Plates and Scales. Morning to you and welcome. I'm the wrong person to be doing this interview this morning because I had a hot cross bun at 6 o'clock this morning for my breakfast. It's the worst thing, isn't it?
It's not a great start.
Just be honest.
To be honest, it's definitely not a great start, but hopefully that's not an everyday pattern.
Well, it's going to be an everyday pattern until the end of Easter. Why do people fall off the bandwagon? Do we set our goals too high at the beginning of the year?
Yes, I think people fall off the bandwagon because they tend to adjust their lives in an unrealistic way. They tend to go for diets that are either too expensive, not realistic, so you find that they can't just maintain it, so there's poor compliance. So that's why we always say, try and stay away from the word I'm dieting, because you tend to fall
You're just eating more healthily. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I should be doing your job for you. But you know a lot more about it than I do.
Yes.
So if you're going to recalibrate now,
yes.
So let's assume end of the year, you had a good time, you've been going to gym, you've tried to eat, and now suddenly, you know, the chocolate is creeping up and an extra glass of wine. You know the story, or maybe you don't. But how should you be recalibrating now?
Okay, so I always tell people that it's all about the small choices. So number one, just always try to stay away from temptation. So if you know that if you're going to the shop, try to stay away from those aisles that have the extra chocolates, the wines.
It's impossible to do that, Ria. You know that.
Write a list. It's discipline. It takes a lot of discipline.
Better go online and shop.
Better go online and shop. And sometimes some people, it takes a health scare. It takes you going to the doctor, being told that you have cholesterol or you have diabetes or but we're trying to get you not to get to that stage.
All right, so avoid the temptation, possibly look at shopping online. What else?
Don't have these things in your house. Don't have these things in your house, and make sure that start with telling yourself, okay, I normally have a hot cross bun for breakfast. What is a healthier?
If you're telling me to replace the hot cross bun with a rice cake, I'm going to call security.
No, definitely not. It's a matter of saying, okay, maybe I can have a hot cross bun once a week, and rather maybe have some brown bread with either an egg or bran, just something that's a bit more healthier. So consistently trying to take out the unhealthy things and starting to replace them bit by bit.
And don't, I would imagine, set yourself in the reboot phase unrealistic goals.
Yes. Yes.
Which is what people often want to do. So they start it and they think, well, if I haven't lost 5 kilograms in 2 weeks or whatever the case is,
then out the door. Then they try the next thing. Then there'll be, we call these the yo-yo dieters. People will start with banting because they've heard that banting works for whoever. Then if it doesn't work, then they go onto blood group, then they go onto, and that's where we are getting it wrong. Stick to what works for you, just in a healthy way. So make it a lifestyle, make it an everyday thing.
What's your view on banting?
So my view on banting is, and some of those people don't go back to warn them, is that banting is more of a high fat and it's more of animal fat. And unfortunately, our bodies don't readily use animal fat. So what happens is that you might have increased cholesterol. I had a patient who was 35 recently, last week. Cholesterol is sitting at 7.5. Why? Because she's consuming a lot of butter. She's consuming.
7.5 is bad, eh?
7.5
What should it be?
It should be around 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So now banting is over, because next thing you're going to start taking treatment, and then once the cholesterol comes in, then hypertension will be knocking on the door, then diabetes will be knocking on the door. So it's all about saying, honestly speaking, banting.
And also, Ria, it's portion control, isn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you. So I normally educate my clients on something called a My Plate model. So my plate model says at least half of your plate should be fruits and veggies. So about a handful should be fruits and veggies. Those are lower in calories, they don't have salt and all those things. And then a quarter of your plate, about the size of your fist, should be your starches. Potatoes are starch, butternut is a starch, rice is a starch, so everything shouldn't be more than the size of your fist. Then your protein, about the size of your palm.
Thank goodness I've got a bigger fist than you've got. All right, okay. And it's about perseverance as well. I mean, don't give up. Don't,
Yes.
And you must be allowed to treat yourself every once in a while.
That's what I say. That's what I eat. Personally, I eat everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So it's okay to have a chocolate, but not every day.
Not the whole box either.
And not the whole box either. And drinking cool drinks, those are high in sugar.
Yeah.
So rather maybe try flavored water. So it's about trying to find the alternatives and treating yourself once in a while.
Okay, Ray, we're going to leave it there. I was going to invite you back, but I'm not so sure now because that was very depressing, but very sensible. Thanks very much indeed.